Money, the very sound of this word stirs emotions within you. For some, it brings excitement, for others, dread. Some see it as freedom, while others whisper that it is the root of corruption. Yet, what is money truly? It is not simply the coins and paper we exchange, nor merely the numbers dancing on screens in banks. Money is energy. It is a mirror, reflecting back to you your relationship with yourself, your fears, your desires, your wounds, and your unspoken shadows. To walk toward abundance is not merely to learn strategies of commerce or the mechanics of saving. It is to look inward, to dare to face what has been buried beneath the surface of your psyche, to unearth the forgotten, and to integrate it. Abundance begins where shadow work begins. The world you inhabit is built upon projections. You look at others who are wealthy and say, they must be greedy, they must be ruthless, they must have stolen their way to the top. Yet in those words, you are not describing them. You are describing your own split parts. The resentment you feel toward money is a reflection of a hidden belief that having it makes you evil, and so unconsciously, you push it away. Your shadow has already decided. It is safer to stay poor than to risk being consumed by greed. In this hidden contract with yourself, you sabotage every opportunity. And when abundance does approach you, you push it away, all while complaining that fate has abandoned you. But fate has not abandoned you. You have abandoned your own wholeness. The path of abundance is not a path for the faint of heart. It is not a path of shallow affirmations spoken before mirrors with no roots in your being. It is a path of descent into the basement of the self, into the darkness where your earliest beliefs about money were born. Perhaps you were a child watching your parents fight about bills, and your nervous system encoded money as conflict. Perhaps you saw people in positions of wealth abusing others, and you silently concluded that you must reject riches to remain pure. Perhaps you grew up in scarcity, where survival itself became a daily battle, and now, whenever money comes into your hands, you unconsciously recreate the scarcity to remain loyal to the story of your past. This is shadow work, to descend into these origins, to face them without flinching, to call them by their true names. Every time you deny them, they rule you in silence. Every time you ignore them, they tighten their grip on your reality. But when you turn toward them, when you shine awareness upon them, you dissolve their power. Then, and only then, does money cease to be an enemy and become what it always was, an ally, a servant, a form of energy flowing through the river of life. Many will tell you to just think positive, to manifest abundance through vision boards and lists of desires. But how can you manifest when half of your soul is pulling in the opposite direction? You place the image of a mansion on your wall, but deep in your shadow, there is a voice whispering, "If I live there, no one will love me anymore. I will be envied, hated, abandoned." So you find yourself circling, year after year, never reaching the mansion, not because the universe has rejected you, but because you are at war with yourself. The mansion cannot enter because your own psyche has barred the gates. To unlock abundance, you must unlock yourself. Shadow work is the alchemy of wealth. It transforms inner lead into gold. Imagine your unhealed wounds as knots tied tightly in the threads of your soul. Each knot is a belief: I don't deserve, I must suffer, money is dirty, I must stay small. These knots twist the flow of life force within you. No matter how much energy comes, it cannot move freely. The work then is to untie the knots, to loosen them with compassion, to listen to the parts of yourself that you have silenced. When you sit with your shadow and ask, "Why do you fear money?" it may answer with a memory of betrayal, of abandonment, of pain. You must hold this part tenderly, for it is not your enemy. It is your younger self, frozen in time, still protecting you from a danger that no longer exists. Abundance begins not with ambition, but with reconciliation. You reconcile with the part of you that fears being too visible. You reconcile with the part of you that associates money with violence. You reconcile with the part of you that longs to be free, yet fears that freedom will cost you love. And in this reconciliation, something miraculous occurs. The flow begins. Money ceases to be elusive, because you are no longer elusive with yourself. You are no longer fragmented, no longer sabotaging, no longer betraying your own destiny. Understand this: abundance is not a destination, it is a frequency. When you integrate your shadow, you rise into that frequency naturally. You attract opportunities not because you are forcing the universe, but because you have become aligned with the deeper truth of who you are. Money comes because you are no longer afraid of holding it. It stays because you no longer need to chase it. You use it not to fill the void, but to expand your contribution, to express your gifts, to build bridges between yourself and the world. And yet, the world will still test you. For the moment you unlock abundance, new shadows appear. Suddenly, you must face the shadow of pride, the shadow of superiority, the shadow of attachment. If you do not continue your inner work, money will once again own you instead of you owning it. The task, therefore, is not to achieve abundance once and for all, but to continually integrate the shifting shadows that arise as you expand. This is the lifelong dance of inner alchemy. Think for a moment of your dreams. The vision you carry, the contribution you long to make, the impact you wish to leave behind. Why do you think these desires were given to you? They were not placed in you as a cruel joke. They are seeds planted in your soul by life itself. But seeds require nourishment. You cannot build schools without resources. You cannot heal communities without tools. You cannot express your highest gifts if you are bound in chains of scarcity. Money, therefore, is not separate from your spiritual path. It is the means by which your spirit actualizes itself in the physical world. To reject money is to reject your own destiny. To embrace money through shadow work is to embrace the wholeness of who you were meant to be. So, begin where you are. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Take a journal, write down your beliefs about money and listen deeply. Which ones come from your parents, from your culture, from your wounded past? Which ones are truly yours? Which ones have you outgrown? Then dare to question them. Dare to ask yourself, what if money could be clean? What if money could be a force for good? What if money could amplify love instead of fear? As you ask, your inner architecture begins to shift. You are no longer chained to the unconscious. You are choosing consciously, and in this choice you are free. Abundance is not a matter of luck, nor of external fortune. It is an inner alignment, a sacred union of the conscious and unconscious, the light and the shadow. The key has always been within you, and the moment you are ready to turn it, the vault of life opens, and the flow of abundance, which was waiting all along, rushes into your hands. Money is not simply about what you earn, it is about what you can hold and what you can allow yourself to receive. Many chase money as if it were prey to be hunted, yet when they finally catch it, they drop it, they lose it, or they spend it recklessly, because something inside them has not yet learned how to hold abundance. Imagine a vessel full of cracks. No matter how much water you pour into it, it leaks. You grow frustrated, thinking the problem is scarcity, thinking the universe refuses to give you enough. But the universe has been pouring all along. The vessel itself has not been mended. Shadow work is the mending of that vessel. It is the healing of the cracks where your wealth leaks away. Consider the person who earns greatly but finds themselves always in debt. This is not an economic problem. It is a psychological one. Somewhere inside them is a voice that says, I must lose it, because if I keep it, I will no longer be loved, or I will become arrogant, or I will no longer belong to my family who suffers. So they sabotage, they spend unconsciously, they unconsciously orchestrate failure. Until this hidden voice is faced, no strategy of budgeting or saving will change the pattern. You see, it is not enough to know what to do, you must know who you are. Now think of the opposite, a person who cannot seem to allow themselves to earn. They may be intelligent, creative, gifted, yet they remain small, underpaid, undervalued. Why? Because within them lives a shadow belief that says, "My worth is not enough. To ask for more is selfish. To shine too brightly is dangerous." This belief may come from childhood, when they were scolded for wanting too much, or when their success threatened the fragile pride of a parent. The wound becomes a silent prison, and so, each time life offers them an opportunity, they hesitate, they shrink back, they say, "No, not me." And money passes them by, not because they lack ability, but because they cannot yet stand fully in their own worth. To unlock abundance, you must face these shadows of unworthiness and guilt. You must stand before them and declare, "I am allowed to want. I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to thrive without betraying love." When you do this, you heal not only yourself, but generations before you. For often, the shadow around money is ancestral. It did not begin with you. You are carrying the burdens of those who came before, repeating their patterns unconsciously. Perhaps your grandparents lived in scarcity, and so the belief life is only survival was passed down like an heirloom. Perhaps your parents carried bitterness toward the wealthy, and you absorbed it as truth. These patterns live inside you until you recognize them. Once you do, you have the chance to end the cycle. You become the point where scarcity is interrupted and abundance begins. Money is a mirror, and it will reveal your deepest contradictions. You may say, "I want wealth," while secretly despising those who have it. You may say, "I want freedom," while secretly clinging to the identity of the struggle, because struggle has become familiar. This is why shadow work is essential. It brings these contradictions into the light. Without it, you are a divided self, and a divided self cannot hold abundance. There is a sacred paradox here. Money itself is neutral, yet it amplifies everything it touches. In the hands of the greedy, it deepens greed. In the hands of the fearful, it deepens fear. In the hands of the awakened, it expands love. This is why shadow work matters, not to rid you of money, but to ensure that when money arrives, it amplifies your highest self instead of your wounds. Close your eyes and imagine for a moment what abundance would mean for you, not just the numbers, not just the possessions, but the life it would allow you to live. Can you see yourself in that life without guilt? Can you see yourself holding wealth without shame? Or do you feel a whisper rising in your chest that says, "This is too much. I don't deserve this. Others will judge me." That whisper is the shadow speaking. Do not run from it. Sit with it. Ask, "What are you afraid of?" And you will hear the story. You will hear the old wound, the forgotten moment when you learned to hide. This story is not the truth. It is only a scar. But if you do not face it, it rules you. Understand this well. The universe is infinitely abundant. There is no lack in the essence of life. Lack is a human invention, born of fear, born of comparison, born of systems built on scarcity. When you look at a tree, it does not apologize for bearing fruit. When you look at the ocean, it does not say, "I should give less so others can have more." Abundance is the natural state. Scarcity is the distortion. And the distortion lives inside you until you dissolve it with awareness. Each shadow you face brings you closer to alignment with that natural abundance. Each hidden fear you integrate allows money to flow with less resistance. And this flow is not only for you, it is for the collective. When you heal your relationship with abundance, you become a vessel through which others can be nourished. Your wealth touches lives, creates opportunities, inspires growth. This is the deeper purpose of abundance, not to hoard but to circulate. And yet, beware of this trap. If you seek abundance merely to escape your pain, you will never find it. Money will not heal the wound of unworthiness. Money will not erase loneliness. Money will not give you the love you withhold from yourself. If you make it your substitute for inner healing, you will remain empty, no matter how much you acquire. Shadow work ensures that money does not become a drug, but a tool. It ensures that when you receive, You are not filling a void, but expressing wholeness. When you do this inner work, you discover something profound. Abundance is not only about money. Money becomes one expression of it, yes, but true abundance is a way of being. It is waking in the morning with gratitude instead of fear. It is walking through the world with the certainty that life supports you. It is knowing that you are worthy of love, worthy of joy, worthy of the fullness of existence. When you carry this frequency, money cannot help but flow toward you, because money is simply the physical echo of abundance itself. So ask yourself, are you ready to look into the mirror of money and see not only your desires but your shadows? Are you willing to walk into the darkness within, not to punish yourself, but to free yourself? For in that darkness lies the very key you seek. You will not find it by running away, nor by pretending to be pure light. You will find it when you accept all that you are: light and shadow, abundance and fear, strength and vulnerability. Integration is the doorway, and beyond that doorway waits the flow of life itself, more generous than you have ever dared to believe. The human being carries two faces when it comes to money. One is public, the mask worn in daily life, where you smile, you nod, you speak casually about your goals and dreams. But beneath the mask lives the second face, the shadowed one, where the real beliefs are buried. Perhaps you say you want success, yet secretly you fear being envied. Perhaps you say you want freedom, yet secretly you crave the safety of being overlooked. Perhaps you declare abundance aloud, but in the quiet of your heart, you whisper that you do not deserve it. This conflict is why so many remain trapped in cycles of scarcity. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack effort, but because their conscious intentions are sabotaged by unconscious fears. You may plant seeds, but if the soil is poisoned by old beliefs, the seeds will not grow. Shadow work purifies the soil. It asks you to face what you have buried, to name what you have hidden, and to make peace with it. Only then can your conscious desires take root. Think of the times you have said, "I'll save money this time," yet found yourself spending it recklessly. Think of the times you prayed for opportunity, only to procrastinate or self-destruct when it finally arrived. These are not accidents. They are the handprints of the shadow, guiding you back into the prison you swore you wanted to escape. Not because the shadow is cruel, but because it is loyal. It clings to the old survival strategies that once protected you. It believes if you stay small, you stay safe. If you remain invisible, you avoid danger. If you struggle, at least you belong. To unlock abundance, you must show this shadow a greater truth. You must say, "I am safe to expand. I am safe to shine. I am safe to live in freedom." This is not a chant, but a lived realization, born from facing the very memories that created your fear. Each memory is like a locked room in the house of your psyche. You cannot enter abundance if half your house remains in darkness. You must turn the key and open the doors. Consider, for example, the child who once heard their parents sigh, "We can't afford that." 1,000 times, this phrase became etched in their mind, not just as a statement of fact, but as a world view. Life is limited, desire is danger, money is always out of reach. That child grows into an adult still carrying those words as gospel. Even when they earn, the inner child whispers, "It will never be enough." They create a reality that reflects the belief, because the shadow cannot imagine another way. Only when the adult self turns inward and says to the child, "We are no longer bound by those rules. We are safe now. We can receive," does the grip loosen. Then abundance becomes possible. Do you see? Money is not the problem. Your relationship with yourself is the problem. Money is not against you. Your unhealed patterns are against you. The universe is not withholding. Your shadow is withholding. And the shadow withholds because it is afraid of change, afraid of the unknown. To step into abundance is to step into the unknown, to shed identities that once defined you. Many say they want wealth, but what they truly want is comfort within the familiar. True wealth will shatter the familiar, because it demands you step into a greater version of yourself. But here lies the deeper truth. Every fear your shadow holds is an invitation to expansion. If you fear losing love when you succeed, then your task is to expand your definition of love. If you fear becoming corrupted by money, then your task is to strengthen your integrity until nothing can corrupt you. If you fear abandonment, then your task is to anchor in self, love so deep that you cannot be abandoned. The shadow does not block you to punish you. It blocks you to point toward the very muscles of the soul you must strengthen. And as you strengthen them, something miraculous unfolds. Money ceases to be a symbol of fear. It becomes a symbol of expression. It becomes a mirror of your wholeness. You begin to see money not as something you must chase, but as something that flows naturally to the aligned self. Just as rivers flow to the sea without effort, so too does abundance flow toward the one who has removed their inner dams. This is why so many who chase wealth never find peace. They treat money as the source of fulfillment, when money is only the reflection. The true source is inner alignment. When you are fragmented, money will amplify fragmentation. When you are whole, money will amplify wholeness. This is why shadow work is not optional. It is the foundation of true abundance. Now pause and imagine for a moment. What if you lived in a world where you were no longer ruled by these unconscious patterns? What if you could hold wealth without fear? What if you could succeed without guilt? What if you could thrive without betraying your family, your values, your soul? What if money became nothing more than energy in motion, amplifying your love, your service, your vision? Do you see how free you would be? Do you see how powerful? And yet, this vision will remain a dream until you do the one thing most people avoid. Turn inward, to face the self, to confront the darkness, to sit with the discomfort of seeing where you have lied to yourself. This is why many will never find true abundance. They seek shortcuts, techniques, tricks, while avoiding the raw work of self-confrontation. But if you are listening now, if your heart beats faster at these words, it is because you are ready. Ready to do the work that others avoid. Ready to unlock not only money, but the truth of who you are. You are not meant to live small. You are not meant to be chained by scarcity. You are not meant to dim your light so that others feel comfortable. You are meant to expand, to overflow, to circulate abundance so that the world itself is transformed by your presence. But this cannot happen if you continue to hide from yourself. The abundance you seek is not out there. It is within you, behind the locked doors of your shadow. And the key is courage, so the time has come. You stand at a threshold. On one side lies the life you have always known, the familiar struggle, the patterns repeated, the smallness endured. On the other side lies abundance, not as fantasy, but as reality. A reality in which you no longer apologize for your desires. A reality in which you no longer sabotage your own growth. A reality in which money is no longer a source of shame, but a current of energy moving through your hands to shape the world around you. The shadow has guarded this threshold. For years it whispered, not you, not now, not safe. But you are no longer a child bound by fear. You are no longer a prisoner of inherited beliefs. You are no longer a fragment of yourself. You are whole, and wholeness is the very key that turns the lock. When you walk forward, you do not walk forward for yourself alone. You walk for the generations before you, whose voices of scarcity echo in your blood. You walk for the generations after you, who will inherit either your chains or your freedom. You walk for every soul who has ever been told they were unworthy, who has ever believed their light was too dangerous to shine. And as you walk, you will feel the shadows tremble. They will not vanish, they will bow, for they were never your enemy. They were guardians waiting for you to grow strong enough to embrace them. And when you do, they become allies. They lend you power, they lend you wisdom, they lend you the strength that comes only from facing the darkness and choosing the light anyway. Now imagine this moment as a fire. It burns before you, not to destroy, but to purify. Step into it. Let it consume the false beliefs, the inherited scarcity, the voices that told you to stay small. Let it burn away the guilt, the shame, the fear of being seen. Step through the fire and emerge renewed, an individual who no longer chases abundance, but embodies it. Because abundance is not outside you, it never was, it has always been the song of your soul, muffled by the shadows, waiting to be heard. Now you hear it, now you sing it, now you live it, so rise. Rise with courage, rise with love, rise with the certainty that you are worthy, not because of what you do, not because of what you prove, but because existence itself has chosen you. Let money flow, let opportunities come, let life expand around you. You are not here to scrape by, you are here to overflow. Unlock the abundance within, and the world outside will follow. This is your guide, this is your invitation, this is your awakening. Go forward, not as a seeker of wealth, but as a living embodiment of wholeness. And as you live, the shadows will bow, and abundance will rise to meet you, again and again, without end.